I'll give you an even better question. Why is this man trying to refinance?
That is an excellent question.
He just refinanced his home a couple of years ago. He lives on Capitol Hill. He and his wife, when he moved to Washington, bought a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom, 1,800 square foot home. Paid about $839,000 for it in 2004. We looked it up. According to Zillow, it's worth $965,000 now. According to his financial disclosure forms, when he was at the Fed, he refinanced in 2011, taking his mortgage rate down to 4.25% from 5.375. So I have no idea why he's trying to.
Because
he couldn't shave much more.
He couldn't shave much more off it. But in Chicago yesterday at a conference, he told the audience that just between us, I recently tried to refinance my mortgage, and I was unsuccessful in doing so.
But why? Because he doesn't have steady income?
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy who was employed for 11 years, had a job. And now it's all computers. So he types in his form, he sends it in the computer, and the computer looks at it and says, well, you had a job for 11 years, you're unemployed now. Now, he can make $250,000 a speech, which he does 5 or 6 times a year, and he's got $1 million book contract, but the computer doesn't know that. And so the computer says, well, you're a bad credit risk, and spits it out and says,
so we wonder why he might be wanting to refi. But those are 30-year rates that he got. No, but it won't necessarily be 5 basis points. Ben Bernanke is making $250,000 for every speech he delivers. And there's no reason to assume that he won't get that for several years to come. So maybe he's trying to do it into a shorter maturity, or maybe he's trying to do an ARM because he anticipates that he could pay it off much sooner than 30 years.
We were told he was trying to do a 30-year refi, but why would he do that? Because according to his last refinancing form, the D.C. property records show that he was down to $672,000 on his mortgage in 2011. So assuming now he's had a couple more years, that's 2 speeches. I mean, he could pay the whole thing off.
Maybe he's doing it just to test out the post-crisis banking system he created.
Well, what was his punchline? That even me, I can't get. I mean, what's the real takeaway?
Yeah, that's what he's trying to.
His goal was not to have the 3 of us talk about his finances.
Yeah, we're going to have a tighter housing market than we thought. We're not going to see housing expand as much as we thought because banks aren't making loans. I mean, they don't want to hold more capital against holding loans, so they want to sell them. Fannie and Freddie won't buy them unless they're really strict, because they don't want to have to send them back to the banks, and the banks have to take them back. So the 2 sides conspire to make it really difficult to get a mortgage these days. And Bernanke's point is, hey, if I can't get a mortgage, then don't expect a big
people
boom
who aren't
in the
getting paid $200 large to give a speech.
But I looked up the refi rate there, 4.22% right now, according to Bankrate.com. So he'd save 3 basis points. I mean, the fees would.
What I want to know, after he gave the speech,
2 seconds.
Did anyone call him and offer him a refi?
There's a good question.
I mean,
he was not taking questions from the Bloomberg reporters who were at the speech because they asked him some of these questions and he refused to answer.
I'm guessing today somebody picked up the phone and said, Ben, I'm here to help.